So it's very clear that everyone in the national game of media is going to continue to talk about Biden and Trump's lawsuits and tantrums thrown by his people, and some of it's really entertaining. And they're going to talk about how Mitch McConnell's going to declare war on everything that Joe Biden tries to do. And they're going to talk about how Joe Manchin's going to sabotage everything as a Democrat from West Virginia. But for people like me, and I think for a lot of others, it's really important to remember the regional game, the local game, the city, county, district game in your own area, statewide also. That one of the best things that the Biden presidency will probably bring is the ability for blue states and ambitious blue states that generally end up becoming leaders in things, even if people are skeptical at first, that his presidency will allow them to experiment without trying to stop them in court, without trying to rally against them when he goes and makes speeches. I think that that's going to be one of the biggest advantages, and we need to look at really maintaining and growing local support, because during the Obama period, we quietly saw a disintegration of his power because people like me, I'll admit it, weren't savvy enough to realize that winning school board seats and city council seats and district elections and getting the right to redistrict the next time was really the way that the Republicans made it so that he couldn't do anything after about 2011. Really, what we need to look at is focusing on those things. And I'm going to go a little wider and focus on statewide issues right now. But going forward, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the impact that ballot propositions, really since 1978 with the Howard Jarvis taxpayer revolt in Prop 13, and then its extension in 1986 through Prop 58, all of these things, how they are reverberating through to today. And Prop 15 and Prop 19 this year were both meant to address those things in different ways, not perfect ways. I did vote yes on both of them. One passed. And I'm going to be talking a lot about those in detail over the next many videos, because I think that this issue is going to be back in 2022. It's going to be back in 2024, and we can figure out better ways to write these bills, better ways to make sure the money goes to places that we think it will actually be useful. And just as a slight teaser, everyone's heard of Prop 13 probably in California. It was set up in 1978 to benefit people who had already gained wealth by that point. 1986 was to enshrine that to their heirs, myself being one of them, honestly, as a way to kind of create little empires in California and give discounts to those families. The problem with that inherently is that anything set up with, we were here first and it's our toy to play with, is going to erode as 40 years go by. Those people pass away, those people retire, those people pass it on to their kids who maybe move away. And in the meantime, the population's doubled, and people who weren't even allowed to buy property, even if they had the wealth at the time, or if they weren't explicitly allowed to buy property, they were held back in certain ways through invisible and apparent ways of keeping them from buying property and joining in the property discounts, property tax discounts that Prop 13 gave. Now there's a lot of new homeowners and a lot of renters who are not benefiting from that system. Even homeowners that have the money to pay property taxes now pay another $10,000 to $12,000 to send their kids to private school because the schools suck. And I'm not saying money is the only solution to funding, or it's the only solution to funding schools, but it's not the only solution to fixing the school system. So I'm going to be looking at that through a lot of videos, through a lot of detail, looking at how other states run their school systems and property taxes and tax systems in general. And I'll just close with the fact that anyone that says Californians are already too taxed and we have the highest income tax rate, one of the reasons we have the highest income tax rate is because of the huge property tax discounts that we give to huge real estate owners that sometimes, oftentimes, many times, many people do this. They don't even use the properties and they let them sit vacant. And then they say, the shortage of housing could be fixed if you just let us build more stuff. So anyways, I'm going to be talking more about that. I enjoy comments of all types. I'm leaving links at the bottom for finding information on all of the topics that I very quickly mentioned in this video. And my last video was very vulgar and venting. It was a venting session. I do not regret it. But the two people that commented on it hated me. And by the end of it, one of them and I had a very good conversation about these issues. We did not agree, but we were able to discuss these issues. And I don't want to see people not able to discuss these issues. I can be seen as a class traitor because I'm benefiting from these things and maybe looking to overhaul them. I will be seen as speaking for other people's issues because people of color and renters and lower economic bracket people in the state are not benefiting from this system. I'm not one of those. I'm not a person of color. I am a person who's going to benefit from this system. So you want to call me a class traitor? You want to call me speaking for other people's issues? Speak up. I'll welcome you on the show. You can talk about the issues too if you have something to add. And something's got to change though. And something will change because when you benefit from a system that says, I was here first, it's my toy, when twice as many kids show up on the playground, someone's going to call you out on that system.